Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we will be looking at Solvay process. So the Solvay process is an industrial process. It's an industrial process of manufacturing. Of sodium carbonate. Why would we want to manufacture sodium carbonate? We want to manufacture sodium carbonate because of the immense uses. Just to mention a few of the uses, one, it is used in the manufacture of glass and paper. Number two, it is used in the softening of water. Number three, it is used in the manufacture of detergents. So because of this reason, it warrants the manufacture of sodium carbonate because it's a chemical that's actually has got very uses. And once we are able to manufacture it, then you can be able to see why it's important. In manufacturing of sodium carbonate, a guy called Solvay, in around 1860s, came up with this process called the Solvay process, and probably that's why it's named after him, Solvay process. So it requires actually three raw materials. The first one is brine, which is what we call concentrated sodium chloride. The other one is ammonia. Ammonia gas is required. And then we have limestone. So the three raw materials are brought in an industrial environment to be able to give you this sodium carbonate. So everything begins from the Solvay tower, or probably the absorption chamber, So what happens in the absorption chamber is we have these two raw materials, brine and ammonia, being mixed. Right? So you have ammonia gas here, and then we have brine. So these two are mixed. So when they are mixed, they leave the absorption chamber as ammonia called brine, and they are taken to the main chamber. And the main chamber is called carbonator. The main chamber is called carbonator, or now the Solvay tower. So inside the carbonator, we have ammoniacal brine being pumped inside, and this ammoniacal brine is made up of ammonia and sodium chloride. Another chamber, somewhere here, called the kiln chamber, contains limestone. It contains limestone. So limestone is basically calcium carbonate. Limestone is calcium carbonate. So it's heated up to give you calcium oxide plus CO2 gas. So the CO2 gas from the kiln chamber is now brought to the Solvay tower, and now the main reaction can take place. So basically, what is this main reaction? We are having ammonia, NH3, being reacted with sodium chloride, which is brine, plus carbon 4 oxide, then plus water. You will end up getting two main products. The first one is ammonium chloride. The other one is sodium hydrogen carbonate. So these two products can be separated through filtration process, because ammonium chloride is soluble and sodium hydrogen carbonate is insoluble. So these are soluble, this one is a filtrate. So we are going to have them separated this way. So we will have ammonium chloride here, and then here we have sodium carbonate. They have been separated through filtration process. Now the sodium carbonates will again be heated further. So when you heat sodium carbonate, it will be heated. And so once you heat sodium carbonate, once you heat sodium hydrogen carbonate, you're going to get sodium carbonate, which is now the product that we need, plus the CO2 gas, of course, plus water. So the CO2 gas that is released from here will be recycled back. So we have CO2 gas being released, so it will be recycled back to the kiln chamber, like that. And then the sodium carbonate product, the sodium carbonate, which is now the product that we need, will be packaged, ready for transportation to the various industries, where they'll be used to make some of these uses we have mentioned earlier on. Now the ammonium chloride, remember we have ammonium chloride that we need to know what happens to it. And also in the kiln chamber, after heating sodium hydrogen carbonate, we were able to get, after heating calcium carbonate in the kiln chamber, we were able to get calcium oxide plus CO2. The CO2, we took it to the carbonator, but the calcium oxide was left. So we are going back to this calcium oxide. So the calcium oxide, we're going to add water to this calcium oxide, and when you add water to calcium oxide, you get calcium hydroxide. So it is the calcium hydroxide that will be brought here, and it will react with ammonium chloride. So this reaction will be ammonium chloride reacting with calcium hydroxide. So we are able to get ammonia gas plus calcium chloride plus water. So the ammonia that will be released here will be recycled back to the absorption chamber. So at this stage, it's important to note that the CO2 that was released after heating of sodium hydrogen carbonate was recycled, and also the ammonia that has been derived out of this reaction again is recycled. So because of this recycling, this Solvay process is regarded as an efficient process. It's very efficient because there's minimum waste, and there's minimal pollution. You'll agree with me, some of these gases, if they are released to the atmosphere, they are bound to cause some environmental challenges. So being recycled back actually means that there will be minimal pollution, and then of course the waste will also be minimized in that regard. There's a byproduct called calcium chloride. This is the only byproduct from this process. A byproduct means it's a product that is not going to be used within this process, but you need to note that this calcium chloride can also be used. It has several uses. It is used in the drying of gases in the lab, especially in high school. And then in the extraction of sodium metal, it is used in the lowering of temperature in that particular part. So we have drying of gases, and especially the use of calcium chloride. Now, the carbonator, this is where the main reaction takes place. And this carbonator, the reaction takes place here is regarded as exothermic. It's an exothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction means it produces a lot of heat, and therefore it needs to be cooled regularly. No wonder some of the Solvay plants must be located close to a water body for the purposes of cooling the carbonator. Thank you.